Welcome to the Takeoff Podcast, the go-to construction podcast for construction professionals seeking inspiration, education, or motivation for the next steps in their career. Each Monday, you'll be joined by me, Mick Donaghy, Managing Director of Gedden Executive Recruitment and a respected name from the industry. A construction leader, a business owner, or someone in the thick of the action. The whole premise of this podcast is for you to get something from it. An idea, a connection, a mentor, whatever it is, I hope you get it. And I hope you enjoy the show. Without further ado, let's get into it. Relaxing and a bit of time away from the show. I'm super excited to be back in your eardrums and ready to rock for a new season. This season, we'll be mixing the podcast up a little. We've got some incredible interviews lined up with construction leaders across the entire spectrum of the industry, from subcontractors, consultancies, those in the trenches doing the work at the minute. We'll also be doing a lot of construction market updates with myself and Patrick. We've had such good feedback on those episodes, a little bit more relaxed, myself and Patrick having some banter, sharing stories about the industry from a construction point of view, from a recruitment point of view, and they're always a fan favourite. But also we'll be resharing some of our interviews that we've done in the past. We've got a lot of new listeners of the show, and the content that we have recorded in the past is just packed full of value. Those who have been in the trenches for 20, 25 years or so, what they've learned from the industry from an estimating, quantity surveying and construction perspective. So we're super excited to have this exciting season lined up, and yes, we'll be going right through until the new year. Can you believe it's only around 16 weeks until the end of 2024? What a whirlwind it's been. So guys, great to be back and super excited to be doing this one. Looking forward to your reviews, your comments, and like always, if you can share, subscribe and give us a 5-star, that'd be greatly appreciated. So over and out.
I'm rolled up.
Cool. Alrighty, ready to go.
Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of the Takeoff Podcast. Today we're back in the studio with my good friend Patrice, Paddy, Patrick, whatever we want to call him. Finally got him out of bed. Apparently he's wrecked today for the third day in a row. What's crack, mate?
Not much. How are you?
Good.
I am wrecked.
Why are you so tired?
You don't have the day-to-day stresses that I have.
What do you
with
mean?
With our new arrangement and work,
I have to manage you, and that's stressful enough.
I have to manage up, man. It's even worse. But I did watch the Origin last night. Jesus, that's why I'm wrecked.
Yeah.
I actually fell asleep last 10 minutes.
What time did it finish at? New Zealand time?
Near midnight or something.
Oh yeah, big one for you. I sometimes text you after 10 o'clock and know I'm not going to get a response. It's just a one tick.
Well, it goes on the whole sleep mode thing. Whenever it goes past a certain, because the alarm, so it's do not disturb after like 10.
Yeah.
But last night it was a late one.
So if you put on do not disturb, are you still on your phone?
I forget that you're a weirdo with an Android.
What's wrong with that? I can do not disturb too.
So why you ask me how it works?
Yeah, but I'm still on my phone is what I'm saying. So like Amanda puts her phone on do not disturb every night, but then she'll be on her phone quite late.
Yeah, so if you have your phone open, then you'll get the notifications, but once it's down and like locked, nothing comes through. It's like a wall.
You know what I've got on my phone? Like the dimmer?
Yeah.
So I've got like
light thing, the orange light.
Yeah, but I've got a mega dimmer. It's like
have you got one of them wee lights? You turn around and go dim.
Yeah, it's like reading off an ancient scroll. That's what it's like. It's like reading one of those big, blocks on the side of the pyramid. You're like, what's that saying?
A mega dimmer.
Yeah, it's a mega dimmer, and you can change the color as well. It's vibey. So like you can go.
Neon
I want this
pink.
to be pure dark. Like I was watching Stick to Football last night.
Right.
I could barely see any of them. I was like, is that Ian or Roy?
It's like in the not in the sauna. What the other one called? The steam room.
But yeah, well, you can't see anyone. It was like the fog coming in this morning. Yeah,
it was grim.
What about England losing the Euros?
Yeah.
Did they lose or did they not win?
Spain are so much better. They got taught a lesson in how to play football, and they nearly got away with it. And I wouldn't have cared if they won. Like really, it wouldn't have bothered me too much.
What type of Irishman are you? Like?
I'm a new age.
It
wouldn't have bothered me too much. Like,
what about the hundreds of years of imperialism and oppression? Guys, I'm interrupting this podcast today to give you some information as to what I actually do every single day. So I own and operate a business called Get In Executive Recruitment. We're a specialist boutique recruitment company and we specialise purely in the pre-construction and commercial construction markets globally. We're really well known and respected for our work in estimating, cost management, quantity surveying and contract administration. Because we're hyper niche, we don't have millions of candidates. We don't really even have thousands, but more times than not, we have the right candidate for the right job at the right time. Unlike a lot of recruitment agents out there, we are super experienced in what we do. We understand the market, we understand what makes our clients tick, and our candidates tick too. Each and every single assignment we work on undergoes an extensive executive search process. It's robust and it works 100% of the time. We've also got a team of 5 researchers who map our markets out globally within our niche. They're amazing. They allow us to work fast, which saves our clients time and money too. So if you're interested in our process, drop us a message. Now back to the episode. You know what I mean? But I'm still going to support them.
Guy, how long have we got?
He's I'm only found out today he's English, so we're he's not safe.
There's 3 people in this room who have a UK passport.
I know. I got a UK passport there, and honestly, you know what I started to get worried about? Conscription. I was like, fuck, I'm going to end up fighting for these pricks.
But if we're going to fucking Ukraine or Russia or something.
I mean, you just don't know. Like, there's so much hostility in the world.
We'd be safe here. We'd straight back.
I know, but that's the thing. You want to be in neutral. You want to be in Ireland or you want to be in New Zealand. You don't want to be in Australia. Those boys are just...
We just go over the border, Dundalk. We were safe in Dundalk.
But that's the thing. Like, Australia is so similar to like the US and the UK, isn't it? It's like the United States of Australia, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like
with all their defence spending and they love their military, don't they? Like
they love it.
Absolutely love.
But
building big ships.
It's weird because my view on military is quite tainted. You know, when you like look out your window and in the morning, there's 2 Brits standing there with fucking AK-47s. You know what I mean? You're like, oh, there they are. They're just defending our freedom. I love that one. You know, like,
cheers, lads. You want a cup of tea?
Yeah. So I've got a fairly tainted view on military, but I do see like how beneficial it is. You know, from like if I have like my sister-in-law, if I could do anything with her, I would definitely put her into the military. Do you know what I mean? Like to give her some structure in life,
some discipline,
some discipline,
or
in life.
Some lessons,
for sure. But so, I also understand if you're like Australian and you've got this big country, you know, you want to sort of protect it. You know what I mean? But it's so interesting. Like you see, like military people running around in their wee camouflage, you know, but like they're in the middle of the day
in woolies,
in woolies, running around in the camo, like, and then. There's so much spend,
I think
and then they're building.
They're just looking free stuff.
Yeah, probably. Do they get? See, this is the.
They get a wee ball, don't they, when they're wearing their gear?
Are they veterans? Are they veterans in Australia? Or are they only veterans in the US?
Jesus, that's a question. What's a veteran? Someone who just retires from military.
Well, who has served, I think, and fought.
So can you be like a young vet, like a 40-year-old vet, or do you have to be like, like have a crutch to be called a veteran?
It's terrible when you go to the US, like, and you do see these guys, like military guys, and they're all completely freaking out in the streets, the homeless.
That's grim.
And all that sort of, it is mad. But the most like confrontational and scary type of military is definitely the Navy. You ever see those boys over in Devonport and Auckland? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're I don't know.
The boys in the submarines.
No, you know the fully all in white.
The
Navy boys
with the little hats. Yeah.
I know that's quite charming. I actually think
that's nice. Yeah,
I know, and
they're the ones you see in the movies kissing the girls off the boat. No,
exactly. Yeah, like Elvis.
Yeah.
Remember he had a stint. He had a stint in the old Navy. Like
that's the Pearl Harbor movie.
Yeah, that's right.
Off the boat.
But like, if you were the combatant, right? So say you were on the other side, and and those boys showed up, and they all look really nice. You know what I mean?
You'd be rubbing your hands, wouldn't you?
They've got their nice pearly whites on, and their nice wee hat, and well shaven. And then you're like
you're in the camo gear.
You're in the camo like a Viking.
Class.
You know, you'd be like, you're a happy days.
Slim pickings, let's go.
Yeah. But it's been a pretty. I don't know. This episode will go out in a few weeks, but it's been a mental week. Obviously, construction wise, it's been pretty crazy. But also with Trump's assassination attempt, that was nuts.
I thought it was a piss take when you sent me. I was like, this is going to be one of them videos that takes you to a video with certain noises that you always get duped by.
100%.
No, he has not got shot.
But tell you what, though, it was mad because see when you were watching an assassination attempt, you kind of think it would be like,
yeah.
It was like a wee zip.
It sounded like a pea shooter, didn't it?
It did. It sounded
pew,
like
pew.
You know, it's like someone's out with a few ball burns. You know,
and I didn't. So I don't know. Did anyone else get hurt? Because there's hundreds of people behind him. Surely that ball hasn't stopped in his ear.
Those Republicans are fucking seriously scary people. Like, they were all just sitting there looking at him like, what's happening with Trump? Hi guys, the Takeoff podcast is proud to be sponsored by RIB Software, the home of leading construction software such as RIB Costex, RIB Candy, RIB CX and more. RIB Software provides solutions to manage all aspects of your construction project lifecycle, including estimating, collaboration, project controls, and more. RIB products have been pioneers in the industry for many years. And in fact, this year, RIB is celebrating 20 years of RIB Costex. From the very first release of version 1.0 in 2004 in Brisbane, Australia, RIB Costex is now being used in over 100 countries around the world to help customers build better every day. And we have a special offer for listeners. If you quote the Takeoff podcast when purchasing an RIB Costex subscription in Australia or New Zealand, you'll receive a free online Costex training course. So visit the website now at www.rib-software.com. That's www.rib-software.com. You know what I mean?
But how did that guy? How did he get even close? Like, this is like, how have the Secret Service or whatever not? You know, how have he allowed to get on a 20-year-old with a gun on top of a roof, which seemingly wasn't that far away because people were like,
apparently,
who's that guy?
Apparently, it had been called in. So they were like, this American guy rings up, you know, the police and was like, by the way, there's a guy walking up the top of a shed with a gun.
Yeah.
And then everyone's just chilling.
What do you want to
do? But
about?
It is a bit like, I'm not conspiracy theorist, but I heard a question last night and I was like, that's pretty poignant. How did he know to go up on that shed?
What do you mean?
Like, how did he know to go on that roof? Because that was the only roof that didn't have a shooter on it. Like a counter sniper shooter.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Jesus Christ.
That is, I mean, we're
can of worms.
Yeah, this is Inception.
Are we in the right podcast?
But it is interesting though, because if that had happened, how would the Brisbane construction industry have been affected?
And we're back.
Yeah.
Well, there's worse in the Brisbane construction market than there is in America.
What do you mean?
With recent news.
Yeah, but we'll not talk about that.
Please do.
No, it's been a bit of a crazy week with the CFMEU. I see that I've been working in Australia for, I don't know, 5-6 years, and I still don't know what CFMEU stands for. I was about to ask you there, yeah. You know what it's like? You ever watch Countdown? And consonant, please, Carl. Yeah, consonant, please. Like, there's two... Yeah, there's two vowels in there. Like, you're never making a word out of that, are you? CFMEU. What is that? I don't even know what it is. It's Construction Federation Manufacturing Engineering Union or something. Is it? I've made that up. Hopefully. I've completely made that up. But there was a big 60 Minutes documentary where the leader of the CFMEU in Victoria was being, I guess, associated with a lot of underground crime. Yeah. And there's all this, like, it's quite hilarious though. So, like, they do a few, like, undercover stings, and they'll go in and be like, how do I get an EBA, which is, what is it? Employment Bargaining Agreement. Basically, how do I get on this to get a contract to get on this site.
Get on this site.
And your man's like, oh, you know, you have to send us a cash deposit, basically.
Oh my
you know,
God.
so it's like you have to pay.
Is that what was going on?
100%.
He was just
yeah.
taking brown envelopes, backhanders to get them on site.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're saying this is what's been alleged.
Yeah.
You know, but pretty
Like Michael,
crazy.
like
Like,
Michael Jackson.
yeah,
Alleged.
yeah, alleged. But I don't know. It is pretty crazy because like it does make such a difference to the construction industry having such powerful associations that can effectively just change the.
It's like a mafia, isn't it? That's what you see in Sopranos. All the boys on site getting the contracts, getting the jobs.
Well, that's what people are alleging. It's like, you know what I mean. You got to be careful who you're pointing the finger at. You know what I mean, just in case. But I think in terms of they've done a lot for workers' pay, but where it's sort of got to now does seem like it's just making everyone's lives more difficult.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, they said that the building, the cost of building is going to go up 10% this year, perhaps alone, just with the rise in labour's wages.
But I mean, on the flip side, right? Construction companies, like literally tier 1 contractors, tier 2, tier 3, they are paying them, so they're complicit in the whole thing as well. So if they're saying, you know, to get on this, to get working with these subcontractors, we're going to pay, you know, $100,000 or whatever it might be. So it's a part of the industry that's extremely murky, and you know, there's obviously. We have to be careful how it evolves because I don't know whether it's never. I don't think it's ever going to break up.
So is it just Victoria that's come under this
Spotlight, yeah, but
allegations, or
I mean, I think there's the leader of the CFMEU in New South Wales is currently under investigation or in court at the minute for bribery, and then there's been a historical. Impact. There's been a historical sort of legacy of certain accusations and stuff in Queensland too. So
yeah, mental.
But it's interesting, like, because there's such a massive influence. Like if you go to the Queen's Wharf project now, you just see all the slogans and stuff outside.
Yeah,
like saying like we built this city, like never surrender,
yeah,
and all
it's
this
like
madness.
banners and flags, and it's just real like. I mean, it's real public, like it's all over the place.
Yeah, it is all over the place. So it's I don't know how that's going to affect things because you're now seeing some of these construction labourers making over $200,000 a year. So you can, as a labourer, you're making $200,000. You know, so like, I mean, on the investigation last night, it was funny though because there was like a conflict because there was like a rival union. And then they tried to get work on this site, and then all the other guys were like, nah, get off this site. But you could hear all these Irish lads involved. They're like, I'm not getting the fuck off the site. No, I guess here. I'm like, oh, Jesus. If there's anything you want to avoid, is that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They want to keep working.
Yeah, exactly. So, it's been an interesting sort of year for the market itself. It's just so much going on, like, politically, you know, like, elections, there's you know, the whole Olympics fallout, you know, the Victoria obviously last year canned the Commonwealth Games. You know, every state has its own micro problems at the moment, you know, like how you seeing things?
Yeah, well, I suppose we're a little bit more sheltered from that with the work that we're mainly focused on as well, but you're right. There is, like, you know, obviously the microeconomies in Brisbane, Sydney, you know. But what we're noticing now is, obviously, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, the big draw to Brisbane, everyone going to Brisbane, and now house prices have went up like almost 100%.
I think since 2019, house prices in Brisbane have went from an average of 590k to like 945k.
Yeah.
That's nearly doubled.
Yeah, nearly doubled. So, and yeah, of course it still has a draw and stuff like that, but I think people are now focused on cost of living, and Adelaide has been a huge draw for people recently. I've never been. Seems like a cool place though. Nice, like, you know, 1.4 million, 1.3 million. The city on the coast.
You're so basic, aren't you? Like, you just look at facts.
Facts, yeah.
That's all you look at.
Absolute facts.
It's a lovely place. Why? 1.4 million people on the beach.
On the beach, yeah.
Yeah, it's so factual. Like,
And there's work there. It's getting real busy. Real busy.
I think, so where it sits at the minute is Brisbane's, in terms of, on average, you've got Sydney the most expensive. Then, by the end of this year, Brisbane's set to overtake Melbourne. And then you have Melbourne, then Adelaide. But Adelaide's growing at such a pace at the minute that Adelaide could overtake Melbourne as well.
Do you reckon Adelaide's going to be the new Brisbane?
I don't know. It's too... Nah, definitely not. Brisbane's got way more going for it in terms of just infrastructure, opportunity. You have... Because in Adelaide, obviously you've got Adelaide, but then in Brisbane you've got your 50 minutes to an hour to the Gold Coast,
Sunshine
which is another
Coast.
Obviously big city. Then you've got the Sunshine Coast.
Byron Bay is not too far.
Yeah, and then you've got like inland, you've got Toowoomba, you've got sort of like Ipswich, you've got like growing economies all around. And then obviously you've got the 20 in 8 years, we've got the 32 Olympic Games. So that is such a big driver. I think if Adelaide had that, now I go, oh, well, that's a serious competition, but I just don't think it's there yet. I think it's going to take them another 10, 15 years to get to that level.
Yeah.
But what it's quite interesting because everyone's quite fickle in Australia. That's what I find is that's what actually I find about this part of the world. Like I went back home last year and I like looked across the road and it was literally like Mary, the same woman who's lived there my entire fucking life. She's been there like literally 33 years. And I'm like, all right, Mary, and she's just holding on there, son. It's like literally people in Ireland die in the homes they were born in, right?
Yeah, they stay put.
You just don't know who's going to show up here. Do you know what I mean? Like your next door neighbour changes every friggin' 6 months.
I know.
And then I don't know what it is here, but I definitely have neighbour hate. Like, I hate my neighbours.
You had bad luck not too long ago.
I bought a house, right, and it was a townhouse, and we viewed probably 100 houses. I'm not joking. It was probably about 100 houses.
Grim.
And then we bought this house, and what happened was we kind of had it on the radar for a long time. I'm like, oh, we'll keep an eye on that one, keep an eye on that one. But I had been through me and the wife had been through the process of trying to buy a house like 3 or 4 times. And so I was like, I'm not putting an offer in this house until we get our mortgage 100% approved. And so what they do is they pre-approve you, but they don't approve you.
Yeah.
So they pre-approve you, and then they go, "We've actually just found out that you bought a car 10 years ago or something like that, something mental." So, we got fully approved, and then Amanda rings me one day and work. She's like, "Someone's bid on that house," and I was like, "Oh, fuck's sake!" And so we sort of rushed into going into bidding more on it. So we end up getting it, but we got it, and then we were like, "Oh, well, have we done the right thing?" So then, obviously, everything was fine, due diligence and all was fine, building report fine, blah, blah, blah. And then we get in there, and it was like 2 days before Christmas, and then we started hearing all these, these party tunes, right? And I was like, oh, it's obviously just...
festive bangers.
It's just Christmas.
George Michael, no.
But, I'm a real big... I love dance music, right? But when I was growing up, I was... literally known as Belfast's biggest. What?
You were a wee raver, were you?
No, I wasn't even a raver at the time. I was a full-on Eminem wannabe, complete Eminem wannabe. I'd get the fringe right, and I'd gel it down.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? And I would go to rap battles and all the weekend. So I have a real big thing for R&B, hip hop, but I love dance music, right? So we bought a house. The people connected to us. We didn't realize until after about a week that they're full-on DJs, right? Yeah. And so your woman who was next door to us would constantly be rehearsing her sets, right? And I love dance music, right? But then when you're hearing it,
was it any good?
Some of the tunes were good, but you know what I mean? But it's when you hear it, but it wasn't not even, it was it was EDM, right?
Yeah,
so it was and then you're waiting for the drop, but then it was right. And I'm sitting there, just with a bowl of cereal, trying to watch, catch up on some episodes or something like that. But then on the flip side of that, we were beside 2 state houses, right? and I don't know why, but we never really looked into the state houses. One of the state houses was a gang member, right? Ironically, he was the nicest one of the whole lot. He was an absolute.
He has to keep his head
He
down.
was an absolute legend, right? But no word of a lie. We were getting work done on our house one day, like getting something put into the house, and some tradie came in, parked in our driveway, and the gang member came round, went round to the tradie and went, "Why the fuck you parked in that driveway, bro?" Right?
Legend.
And I was like, "What a
Neighborhood
legend!"
watch.
Yeah, Big Brother V is his name.
That's right. Named after the drink.
Yeah, exactly. So he was fine, but there was one next to him. This is no word of a lie. She played music from 9 o'clock at night to 2 o'clock in the morning.
I remember calling around at like, I don't know what it was, for a bit of dinner or something, whatever, 6 o'clock, and it was just like mild vibration.
You vibrated your whole house, and we went round to her probably 30 times to say, "Listen, can you just turn the music down, or like turn the bass down at least?" She's like, "No, I really like my music," and I'm like, "Please, I'm begging you to turn it down a bit." And so I would constantly, like probably 10 times a weekend, be ringing the noise police.
Yeah,
but the noise police, like, know what they do? They literally go like. Like, so they will slow down to like 15 miles per hour and then go, "No, that's all right." But they've got to be able to hear it from the road, right? And in all fairness, you couldn't hear it from the road, but because we were behind her and we were the way we were like on a hill, and so like it just travelled down into our living room.
Nightmare.
And so she was playing, Ja Rule, and then the other one's playing Tiesto, and I'm like, I honestly can't cope. And one day I came home and Amanda was in the fetal position, literally rocking with her nerves were so wrecked. So
after eating your dinner.
So we ended up having to get rid of that gas. I don't even know how we got on this, but
How do I?
yeah. But that
terrible story.
That was like nearly $1 million. That house.
Oh, that's what it was. House prices, yeah.
It was an
House
absolute.
prices in Brisbane.
That was an absolute joke.
Disgrace.
Yeah, but it's heartbreaking. Like you'll see when you've come at, maybe if you're Australian, it's slightly different. If you're coming in from like overseas to Australia and you're trying to get on the property market, it is hard, man. New Zealand's hard. You've got to throw down, obviously, no matter where you're from, you've got to throw down 20%. And 20% of an average house price of, say, nearly $1 million, that's 200 grand. To get to the country, it's probably going to cost you 50 to 100 grand. So you've got to have, absolute paper behind you.
That's a fact.
To survive in some way. So
I'd like to see, like Aussies and Kiwi, because I've never met like an Aussie or a Kiwi outside of Australia or New Zealand.
What do you mean?
Like I've never, they're massive. They go to the UK, go to London. So I've never met one that's like been travelling or living in another country.
I actually met one at a rave in LA. No, a Kiwi.
Oh yeah,
yeah, total legend, absolute legend. Yeah.
But I'd like to see it's the exact same struggles for them because of how things are going back home with prices and cost of living and stuff like that too. Is it the exact same struggles because it is tough here, like to get set up.
Yeah, I think like. There's like I think Islington in London is just full of Aussies.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's like you go there and it's just g'day mate, and bit of Avon toast and friggin' flat whites everywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'll be going there.
But it has been interesting, like what's been going on. Like we've seen the market shift this year. We've been having them, and like it's been it hasn't been as like
it hasn't been as gun ho. I would say
shooting from the hip.
Yeah, absolute knee jerk. Yes, absolutely. There's been a more I'll think about it rather than like let's get them in. We need people now. So, but that was always going to happen after the last 18 months or 2 years. Has been
what I've noticed. Infrastructure compared to buildings probably 5 or 10 times more busy.
Yeah,
it's. I mean,
our last month has been all infrastructure.
Nearly the last 12 weeks, we've probably been 60 to 70% infrastructure compared to building.
Yeah, I'm getting bored of it.
Yeah,
I want something new.
Like what?
And anything new other than earthworks.
Earthworks, groundworks under
utilities,
10 mil.
Oh, Jesus, sub 10.
It is, but I mean, that's the name of the game, though, isn't it? Like, it's the name of the game. It's like that's where the demand is, and that's where the competition is. Like, you've probably, I can name 10 companies at the top of my head, all do very, very similar thing.
Yeah.
I wonder how they win their work. I wonder how they prove that they're better if they're going into a client and saying, we're going to scrape up all this dirt for you.
Yeah. Lift 1 million cubic meters or cubic tons, whatever it is, of earthworks and things like that.
I wonder what their brand, like, what is their sale?
How do they separate themselves from the next person that lifts dirt?
Will be cleaner. Like, if you were the client, what do you want?
We'll lock the door on the way out.
Cleanliness. Wouldn't you like friendly people around?
Well, I suppose that comes back to the relationships.
Yeah.
You know, if you can speak to people, you've got a good relationship with them. I mean, because the next business seemingly could probably deliver the same work, if not very close standard to it. So, I mean, when you talk about at an estimator's point of view, like with subcontractors, maybe they're getting a better price than the subbies. I don't know, but it is very, very similar. And there is, I mean, in Brisbane, Gold Coast alone, you could probably rhyme off 20 businesses that there's not that big a separation in that sort of civil space with what they do, you know.
Yeah. I think
it's a bit of a merry-go-round.
You know, and nearly every one of them's Irish too.
Class.
But like, why are the Irish people so
just
obsessed with dirt?
Love lifting dirt.
What is it?
And moving it.
And you know what I was actually thinking about randomly? It's weird. Like, I was in the barbershop yesterday, right? And I've got to the point now, I've been getting my hair cut for probably 6-7 years, probably 8 years, right, in total.
Did you just let it grow before that?
But it was either a guy from the Philippines or a guy from like some Arab guy is cutting my hair, right? Right?
Yeah, but would you choose to go to these people?
Yeah, I know, but that's what I'm saying. I don't think I would trust a white guy now to cut my hair.
Why is that?
Because how good, like, if you know where this has all come from, right? Think of like back in the day. See, I was obsessed with hip hop back in the day, right?
Yeah, you want to
you look at 50 Cent, right? He had an unreal fade, like Ja Rule, unreal fade, right?
They were having fade.
White people didn't like get fades until like 5 years ago.
That is true.
Like, what did you do before the fade?
Remember my first fade?
Who was your
my good mate? Yeah. He's the only one that's cut my hair back home. But you're right, like but they're cool. Like, those guys are cool.
Exactly.
So you only go to like cool barbers? Is that
I go to the hood. I go into the hood.
They've got some issues.
Fact, you're right. You're getting an unreal fade in the hood.
Yeah,
and it's cheap, man.
It does.
$35 is my fade, right?
Yeah,
right. But the thing is, everyone knows about this guy, and I am swore down, he is the most cross-eyed guy you've ever met. It's just not a word of a lie. No, genuinely, I don't know whether he's talking to me or he's served another customer. I swear.
And you trust him with a blade?
Mate, he's unbelievable. I don't know whether he's got like 3D vision, like you see around the other side.
There's a mirror, 2 mirrors looking at you or something.
He had me on Facebook Live not long ago. He's like, "Hey bro, do you mind if I Facebook Live you?" And I was like, "Yeah, no worries." And then you could see, like all the hearts and all flying up. And I was like, I'm big back in the Philippines. You know what I mean? Like,
he's famous.
I was like, "Hello."
All the fans.
Yeah, no, I could.
No, you have the total opposite mentality to me when it comes to a haircut.
No, but I only go to him now.
Yeah, but I can't go into. I need to know them, know them well.
Like what? Like how much?
See if you say to me, "We've a meeting. You look scruffy. Run in there quickly, get your haircut." Anxiety through the roof.
Yeah, but you have a weird head, right?
I do have a weird head. Yeah,
because if you had been Trump, you would have been dead.
Yeah, I would have been.
Do you know what I mean? Your head's massive, right? It's up, and it's getting bigger as well, with the hair going up this way and the beard going down this way.
Rich, mate.
I know. Amanda says I've got a massive. I don't actually think I've got a massive head.
You do. That's why you go to the big boys, the big Pacificers, because they've got a bigger head than you.
Before you go today, guys, I'm just going to ask you to do one thing. Can you please go to Apple right now or Spotify right now and just give us those 5 stars? Hit that 5-star button. It makes such a difference you wouldn't believe. The whole idea of this show is to inspire, educate, and motivate our listeners. And we can only do that if we're getting the best guests. The best guests want to see data. They want to see information. They want to see how many listeners that we get. And so all of this stuff is really, really important. So if you can just literally go and do that today, if you enjoy the show, just go and hit that 5-star button. It makes such a difference. I hope you've enjoyed the show. We're going to continue to push this out there every Monday. So if you can, hit that 5-star button. And if you can't, even share it with a friend. Go on to WhatsApp, flick it on to your crew. Guys, thank you so much for listening. On to next week.